receiving / showroom of Mario & Son. And basically I unload the trucks when the slabs get here to sending them over to be cut.
Francis Principe is our warehouse manager. He's our first contact for the material. When the trucks arrive, he's the one that physically will first inspect the material. He's the one that has the power to reject. Well, when slabs come in, they either come in domestically from trucks or they come in internationally from containers. When they come in, we unload them and then we scan them with our digital scanner.
I'll take them over to our board over behind me. I'll upload them to our website automatically and get a nice image of the board so they can cut whatever that needs to be cut out of it.
On our website, we have our online live inventory. So if you pull up, let's take a stone like Fantasy Brown, you can actually go through the actual slabs that we have in stock. You can pull up, slab number 14, and it's that actual slab that's sitting in our warehouse at that time. You can see the actual high-resolution image of that slab, and you can hold that slab. It's very advantageous. At any given time, there is a danger factor to this. We've had slabs come off of the crane. Usually it's a result of bad material, so you have to be careful. Nobody's ever been hurt doing it, and we intend to keep it that way. But there is a very heightened sense of safety that we follow when we do that. While Francis scans the material in, I'm gonna hop in my car, go to the airport, and get Buddy. Buddy Antra is a fellow fabricator from Bridgeport, Connecticut. He is also the president of the Natural Stone Institute. He is working on a project in New York he has asked us to help him out with. This job is beyond his skill set to handle. He doesn't have the machinery for it. He decided to fly out and bring us the job, and I'm glad he did. This is an important guy, and it's in New York, so it's a high-profile job. One of the things for our company is we want to become this kind of company that really is known for this kind of work. So Buddy's a high-profile client. The client itself is a high-profile client. And so, we can't drop the ball on this job. It's an important job. And the time frame to get this job done is a little brisk. So that being said, we're going to drop Buddy off at his hotel so he can get a good night's sleep, because we got a big day tomorrow. We're back at the shop this morning. While we wait for Buddy to make his way in, we're going to make some headway on this project. Today I'm working on a hand replacement for St. Augustine's Church. It was vandalized from a homeless guy that broke it off, and the hand was actually in several pieces. And so I brought the hand back to see what I could do, how I could repair it. I guess the most difficult part of this project is I really have no reference about what I'm doing here. The only reference I have is a picture that they sent me, but the picture they sent me doesn't really show the hand at the right angle. So I don't really see how the hand really rests. I'm using grinders and diamond bits to basically just grind these pieces into shape. I'm still kind of roughing this out, so I'll continue to refine it. I'll get it to a point where it's close enough to reattach to the existing sculpture. So I'm gonna put the hand aside. Looks like Buddy just came in. We're gonna make some phone calls with his client to make sure that everything is underway, everything is situated. Buddy's come a long way to be here, so we don't want any surprises.
Joey and I went over a little bit of the technical stuff of doing those radiuses and the time, how important is it to have those corners squared off as square as possible. They're not going to be really, really sharp. You're talking probably a week's worth of labor, and then there's the cost of that too on the time.
It's a geometrically complex pattern that they're doing. It's a bunch of squares with basically donut shapes in the middle of them. And you're basically using a round bit to get into a square corner. And when you get to the inside corners, there still has to be a little bit of a radius because of the limitation of the tool. And this was explained to the client. And when the architects saw the sample, they were wondering, well, could we get it to be perfectly square? And the answer is, well, I mean, we could, but this is, a lot of extra expense, a lot of extra time. And so that's the question here. Do you have the time to invest to make these corners square?
The other thing is we have that cut into 12 panels. So you've got straight lines going there. So each one of those joints are going to have sharp edges also, rather than radius edges. Where they meet. So that's going to take away some too.
Anytime that they change something that adds time to the fabrication, it's going to cost more. There's got to be room for change orders and increases.
That's something he's going to have to put a pen and paper and calculator together to figure out what that's going to be, so we can be fair about it.
Dealing with owners reps, they have a chain of command, and there is a lot of pressure to get it done by a certain date. I was very realistic with them to set expectations, especially with schedule. Do you want it done right or do you want it done fast?
I have Joey standing here if you have any questions for him.
No, Joey, just thank you. Thank you for doing this and for doing it as fast as possible. I know that this is like very last minute.
You're welcome.
Complicated.
It's great to have Buddy here. It's really quite an honor to be trusted with this project. Buddy's a very respected fabricator. He's the outgoing president of the Natural Stone Institute. So we're ready to get this project done for him. And we know we're going to deliver him a good, solid project, just like we do for everybody. While we wait for the CAD department to get their files situated, I'm taking Buddy out to the shop to get him situated with Brandon. Brandon is our production manager and right-hand man out in the shop. He's the one that actually runs our big 6-axis saw that's going to be producing most of this job that we're doing for Buddy.
All right, so Brandon, we did a little bit of a layout.
He's really the guy that's going to be orchestrating this whole job.
Okay, so these are my sets. So everything is basically, we'll say, around 31 inches. These are...
I'm here with Brandon, and we're looking at the slabs themselves. The final project is a wall, and the wall is about 9 feet long by 7 feet wide, but I'm not going to do that in one slab of stone.
Right, they're all like 31. They're all 10. One might be 34 or 35 because you have the border on it.
This is also in lease space in the Time Warner building in New York City, and it is nearly finished. So I cannot bring up any, lifting type apparatus or anything. So it has to be handled by hand on site.
Yeah, but so you get 4 of them, that takes that out. And then it takes that out, and then these you take the other way. You can do it that way, or you can do something where your 4 is actually these 2 here, these 2 here, then these 2 stacked or something like that.
We want to make sure there's no odd veins that are going to abruptly stop at a seam. So we're laying it out. We want to lay out to make sure we get all the pieces, the best yield out of the pieces. So I wanted to go over with him just to make sure that we get the right type of vein flow. So this way it'll have that consistent appearance when it's finished.
So I get what you're
As
saying.
far as cutting and yield, do it that way.
Okay.
When it comes down to carving them, do whatever you want.
The only real change I could do would be to flip pieces over.
The other thing you can do, just so it's not super consecutive, just jump the blade a ½ inch.
The sculpture is a group of cubes at different elevations with a circle in it, like a donut, like a ring. There's 3 different elevations and they slant in different ways. Some are sticking, you're stacking them on the wall, some of them are protruding out a little bit, some of them are slanted a little bit. That's kind of the effect that they're looking for. And there's actually 26 courses vertically. Each one represents a letter of the alphabet. The biggest one, the elevation that's protruding out the furthest, is there's only 1 per course. And that's going to represent a letter of the alphabet, and it does come off with a message.
So with that being said, I'm gonna pull that off and put one of the full panels up.
Okay.
And then just get my 4 pieces that way.
To quote the Joker from the Batman movies, where does he get these wonderful toys?
So each individual panel is loaded into a program that we call AlphaCam. Those are sent from the CAD room to the saw, and each file is loaded into the saw that you see here. Each panel is assigned each tool from the console, and then they are executed right here at the saw. All the coordinates have been set, all the programs are loaded. It's cutting time. Attention to detail on this is everything. There can be no mistakes. The machines will do exactly what you tell them to do. So if you make a mistake in CAD, the machine is going to do what you tell it to do. These are machines that are, accurate to, the hundredth of a millimeter. We're dealing with very geometrically complex shapes here. And we're dealing with 20 panels that all have to intersect perfectly. Everything has to be dead on. There can be no mistakes. Everything must fit. Everything has to be 100% totally accurate. They're not like tiles. They're fitting like tiles, but they're also fitting on radiuses and on slants. So it may look simple to look at it, but it comes together amazingly complicated. So everything just has to be right. And we assure that in CAD, but it also has to be machined that way. Everybody has to make sure they've done their job right. And so, we hope that they did. It's a great day here at Mario & Son. I'm happy, Buddy's happy, everybody's happy. Project went well. Can't wait to show you what happens next on this project on the next episode of Mario & Son.